Greetings and welcome to today's Rising Star Expedition review of the day's tweets. My name is John Mead. I'm a biology teacher in Texas, creating this both for my students and for those who don't have a Twitter account and are interested in seeing the play-by-play, if you will, of the day. Today was day 9 of the Rising Star Expedition. We're going to start on the lower right-hand corner here, where Dr. Berger starts out by, Lee starts out by letting everybody know it is day 9. Becca and Alia are the first ones in the cave. They have the honor of that today. Then we go up and John Hawks updates us that he has finished cataloging yesterday's fossils. More than 80 total pieces. Absolutely impressive. And you'll notice down here he's asked, which is your favorite and why? And we'll get that answer here in a little bit. This was a great thing for me to see when I saw this earlier today, that the third fossil safe is heading out to the site. So what that tells us is that there have been more fossils discovered here than they ever imagined. So great news there. So we're happy to see that and the massive quantity of material that's coming up to the surface out of the cave. And here we see folks working on yesterday's afternoon discovery of potential hand and foot bones. As I mentioned in the last review, the fact that there might be a lot of hand and foot bones will tell us a lot about whatever this species turns out to be, but it's definitely a good sign that we have those. Those are small and usually lost in the process of fossilization, so the fact that they're there tells us that we're going to have most of the rest of the skeleton. Definitely something to hope for. And John Hawks' answer to his favorite fossil so far was the first mandible that came out in the first day of excavation. And he points out, we immediately allowed wide distribution of images. Who else will follow our lead? That is something that I find totally amazing, that here it is a few days into excavating, and the wide world is seeing that mandible. National Geographic is showing images of it. Normally this would be something that would be hidden by an excavation team, and we wouldn't get any idea about what it looked like or any detail about it until several years later when it would be officially published. So this is a major victory for the idea of open access science. In my humble opinion, the way science should be done. We come up here, and again, this just goes to show about the open access nature of it, that videos are being posted to YouTube. Use the search Rising Star Expedition to pull them off. Most of these seem to be National Geographic videos from the blog, but again, we're seeing activity in the cave site that you normally would never see. So this is really a milestone event. Thank you, Dr. Berger, for setting it up this way. We come up here, and this is a very true part. The cavers are an integral part of the team. They ensure safety of the scientists as they enter and work in the cavern. I think the cavers, for those of us sitting at a distance, they're the ones we don't see as much, but certainly they are making this possible. So we thank them and recognize their contributions. A milestone here. 100th fossil collected, watching it being bagged now. That is very exciting. That makes this one of the top fossil expeditions in history as far as quantity of fossils found. And you have to remember, that's the 100th fossil they've collected, and digging has not officially started yet. So they've done nothing more than gather stuff off the surface. So wow, what this offers down the road, hard to imagine. We now find out that all the scientists are in the advanced chamber. They're placing new pins and scanning. You'll see that there's a lot of scanning that goes on. They didn't just scan once and say we're done. But as things move, as things change, things are getting scanned, and this is getting scanned at a very high resolution. I believe Dr. Berger said last time we're talking 0.4 millimeters, so very detailed scans. And this was something I thought interesting, and it again goes to the amazing wealth of fossils that are here. We're moving to barefoot protocols today so scientists can feel fossils underfoot to avoid crushing them. That's how many fossils there are in this chamber that You have to actually be able to be barefoot to tell if what you're stepping on is valuable or not. So that is stunning. And then we come up, beginning to collect an assemblage of about 10 bones and fragments in a small cluster. Again, stuff just keeps coming and coming and coming. And then for the afternoon, John Hawkes gets to take over in the command center. Change of command for a little bit. And needless to say, John is aware of the weight of things. I've been at the helm now for about an hour, feeling the responsibility. Hope I don't let them down. Anybody who knows John Hawkes can tell you that he's not the sort of person to let people down there. He is doing a superb job, and Dr. Berger certainly chimes in that he will do fine, no doubt about that. And then I had to have a little bit of fun here when I saw that and tweeted, "Good job at the helm today. Does that make you Mr. Spock to Lee Berger's Captain Kirk?" And you'll see that little bit of levity started some stuff later on, but we'll get to that in due time. Then I was very pleased, and I have to say my students, when they saw this, were very pleased that Lee retweeted my my video review from yesterday, so that was a nice feeling to know we're contributing to the overall effort here. So thank you there, Lee. Then John Hawkes, the high-res scans of the chamber have been really coming together. Now with the cave wall, it gives a real impression of the place. That is absolutely critical for them to be able to plan future days of digging, because more and more it's looking like this will be an extended expedition. And more good news coming up. The total specimen count up to 140 specimens. They're needing that third fossil vault that's on its way to the site. Then the day ends here. Such a relief to have everyone out of the cave safely. Science tent humming along. Cavers kicking back. Cavers, much deserved. Congratulations getting everybody out safe and sound. And the science team busy working. Lots of stuff to catalog and also to analyze. And I mentioned earlier about my comment about Mr. Spock and Captain Kirk, and indeed somebody took that idea and decided to have fun with it. And so we see here indeed Captain Berger and First Officer Hawkes on the bridge there. So who says science can't have a bit of humor involved with it? And that's going to wrap things up for today. Thank you all so much for listening in. I hope this is helpful to get you caught up with the events of the day.